in Barbados. You can go to any other place in the Caribbean that you want to go to from Barbados, okay? I'm also going to be giving you guys websites where you can go and search for flights. You can travel from Nigeria to the Caribbean even if you don't have transit visas. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So you guys, today I have decided that the most asked question on this video, on this channel rather, I'm going to make a video regarding it, okay? And that is, how do I travel from Nigeria to the Caribbean? If you don't know, if this is your first time seeing this beautiful face, I've made a couple of videos in the past talking about, traveling to the Caribbean. I lived in the Caribbean for 7 good years. So it just made sense that I would share, my experiences there and all of that good stuff. I'm currently in the United Kingdom. If you're subscribed to the channel, if you've been on this channel, you would know that. So, but that doesn't mean that I'll stop creating videos, regarding traveling to the Caribbean or relocating to the Caribbean and all of that good stuff. So this particular video, I decided that I'm going to dedicate it to, telling you guys how to travel from Nigeria to the Caribbean with or without transit visas, the airlines that you can use, the routes that you can take in 2023. Because the very first time I left Nigeria to the Caribbean, that was in 2015. I did a whole video on this channel telling you guys the routes that I took as at that time. I've also even done, other videos mentioning, like, vaguely that you can travel through this route, through that route. But today, I'm going to go into details. I have my laptop here. I have actually Googled most of these itineraries. I'm going to go into details into how you should go, like as at now. This is July 2023 and I'm shooting this video. So if you want to travel August 2023, September 2023, I'm going to be telling you guys how to travel. So stay tuned to the channel, okay? Now let's jump right into this video. So you guys, for almost every time I open my email, there's somebody there asking me, Dominica, how do I travel? I don't have a transit visa. I have a transit visa. Or I do this, I do that. Now, let me tell you guys, the very first thing I'm going to be saying, in fact, disclaimer, if there's anything that you still want to ask me, I mean, we all learn every day, right? So I might gather new information over time. But as at this point in time, if you're in my email and you're asking me, how do I travel? Please watch this video to the end because this is everything I know that I'm going to be telling you guys. The very first step is, if you know you have plans of traveling to the Caribbean, start early. Please don't tell me, some people, I've had people come to me and they're like, oh, I want to travel next month to the Caribbean. How do I travel? I'm like, don't be safe. I don't even travel like that. We are Nigerians, for crying out loud. This video is specifically for Nigerians and other African countries that you might require visas to go to the Caribbean. We are Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian, for instance. I cannot just wake up and travel. Our passport has limitations. So the very first step to actually traveling to the Caribbean is to start on time. Whatever visa it is you want to get, whatever route it is you want to take, start early, make inquiries, because when you come very late, you have limited options. Say someone who wants to go and resume, let's say in September, this is July, and you've not even started making inquiries as to how to book your tickets. That's where the problem will be, because some visas will take 3 months, some will take 1 month. So even if you don't get certain visas, you have time to reroute and try other routes, okay? So straightforward, as in straight out of the bat, I'll tell you, if you're looking to go to the Caribbean, the very first visa you should try to get is a UK visa. Okay, now I just came to the UK. My visa, I started processing it like around March. I got it like before May. In fact, in less than 2 months, I got my UK visa. The one I did before, the previous UK visa I had, it didn't even take me up to a month, depending on where you're applying from. Now, because I just applied from Nigeria, I can tell you categorically that in less than a month or so, or even highest, latest 2 months, you get your UK visa. So if you can get a UK visa, please do it. Just get either a visitor's visa. There's another one that's like a transit visa. It just allows you transit through the airport. You don't really have to go into the UK. Okay, you have different type of visas for the UK. You have your standard visitor's visa, you have your transit visa. So just pick one of those visas, apply for it, and if they stamp it for you, all you have to do is go from Lagos to Heathrow. From Heathrow, you can go to Barbados straight. And once you're in Barbados, you can go to any other place in the Caribbean that you want to go to from Barbados, okay? So I lived in Guyana and Barbados. So majority of this video, I'll be telling you guys how to get to Barbados, how to get to Guyana. If you're even going to any other Caribbean country, let's say Jamaica, you can always go from Barbados. Even how to get to Trinidad from Nigeria. So before I get to that point, that's for those who would not get these transit visas. That one will be towards the end of this video. So the very first visa I would suggest to get is a UK visa. If you have it, it makes your travel very easy. Okay, and the only way you get it is if you start on time. Now, someone reached out to me a couple of months back. I think she's pregnant. She wants to go and deliver and all of that good stuff. So she wants to go to the Caribbean, okay? And then she's like, "How do I travel?" Now, because this person has time, I told her the same thing I'm telling you guys now. But then I also advised her. She said she has a UK visa ready, but it would expire by the time she travels. So I'm like, okay, you can also get a Schengen visa, which she did, and she has gotten a Schengen visa, and she's traveling next month. So if you can get a Schengen visa, there are other routes as well. Okay, there are other routes that you can take that would, pass through the Schengen region, and you will end up in the Caribbean. Okay, you have visit France. In fact, first of all, I'm also going to be giving you guys websites where you can go and search for flights. Okay, so UK visa, Schengen visa, US visa currently is out of the works, but before, people used to go and get US visa and transit through the US. Okay, but right now, I think getting dates for US visa is very difficult. So I would not even advise you to try. But if you can get a date, by all means do that. Okay. Now the websites I would advise you guys to go and try to book. Number one is Kayak. I'll put them in the screen here. Try using Kayak. Try using booking.com. These are like the two major websites that just type Lagos to wherever Caribbean country you want to head to. Lagos to Barbados, Lagos to Jamaica. They will show you list of flights, different airlines, different routes that you can take. Is all there on their website. Okay. Now, if you do not have any of these visas that I just mentioned, you don't have a UK visa, you don't have Schengen visa, and you want to go to the Caribbean, it's very possible. Okay, it is very, very possible. Now, the very first route I would advise you guys to take is Turkish Airways. I just opened it, like, you guys, I'm not even capping. I've checked the flights and all of that good stuff. Turkish Airways will take you from Lagos to Istanbul, and then from Istanbul to Panama, and from Panama you can go to either Barbados, Guyana, anywhere. You need Copa Airlines. So Turkey should take you from Istanbul to Panama. Okay, from Lagos to Istanbul, Istanbul to Panama. From Panama you take Copa Airways to any other part of the Caribbean that you want to go to. The very first time I left there, in fact, all my transits to the Caribbean has always been through Panama. When I first left Nigeria, it was through Panama. When I was going back home, it was also through Panama. So once you get to Panama, you should be able to navigate your way around to other Caribbean countries. I remember the very first time I traveled, I went from Panama to Antigua to Barbados. I have that video here on my channel. You can check it out, okay? So I don't keep repeating my routes. But whatever Caribbean island you want to go to, I think as soon as you get to Panama, you should be able to find your way. Now, another thing you can do, I've seen a couple of people do this, is get a Guyanese visa. I live in Guyana, okay? Some people that I know at the time, they would come and transit through Guyana to other Caribbean countries. Now, that's because from Panama, you can get one flight straight to Guyana, and then from Guyana, you can go to Barbados. Because that sounds easier for some people, okay? And to get a Guyanese visitor's visa, let's say your final destination is Jamaica. Once you apply for the visitor's visa, you just tell them you're going to Jamaica. You show them proof that, this is what you're going to do in Jamaica. Let's assume you're going to resume work in Jamaica or something. You show them proof, you show them all of that. They would give you your visa. They don't have any reason to not give you. But when you sound sketchy, maybe that is when they will deny you the visitor's visa. And these visas, they take like a couple of weeks and they are out. So that is why I said we need to start early. Okay. Now, that's for if you want to pass through Guyana. That is another option. Then you also have Ethiopian Airways. Ethiopian Airways, from what I just checked here, they are flying from Lagos to Sao Paulo. To Sao Paulo. You're not going, it's not a straight flight. So you can go, they'll go from Lagos to Addis Ababa. In fact, as at just a couple of minutes ago, I checked for like September, they have flights. You go from Lagos to Addis Ababa, from Addis Ababa to Sao Paulo. Now, when you get to Sao Paulo, you can take Copa Airways from Sao Paulo to Panama. They'll either go straight to Panama, or they'll stop at maybe Port of Spain or somewhere. In fact, you can even go from Sao Paulo to Barbados. Still the same Copa Airways. They will take you, but they usually would stop over in Panama and go from Panama to Barbados. Now, mind you, that Barbados is visa free for Nigerians. So if you see any airline that will carry you to Barbados, take it. Because once you get to Barbados, you can go in, especially if that is not your final destination. You have other places, like another place that you're going to. Let's say St. Vincent, for instance, where I studied. Once you get to Barbados, you just take your flight and continue to St. Vincent. You don't need a visa to enter Barbados. You don't need, listen, all the routes that I've mentioned so far. You don't need a visa to transit through Istanbul. You don't need a visa to transit through Panama. As a Nigerian, no, that's when I say transit through, I'm talking about less than 6 hours here. Or some people say 12, some will allow you to stay up to 12 hours. Okay, I'm sure less than 6 hours. I don't even think most flights, but it depends on the flights that you're taking, sure. You don't need visas to pass through all of these routes that I just mentioned. Ethiopia to Brazil, as at when I passed through Ethiopia to Brazil, you didn't require a visa. But I don't know if it's that they are now difficult these days towards Nigerians. I've heard like 2 people complain to me that they try to fly through Ethiopia to Brazil and they disturb them or something. I don't know. That's why I'm giving you guys other options. Okay, so that is an option. You should check it out. But I think a lot of people, they get scared by the hours or the duration of travel or the prices of the ticket. So it's a two-way thing. If you want to save money, UK visa, straight up, get your visa and fly. In less than 2 days, you're in the Caribbean. If you don't have that luxury of time, or if you don't want to go through that process and you want to go visa free, your money will have to pay for it. Okay, so you might have to get a more expensive ticket and you might have to fly for longer. Okay, so there's that part. I've just told you guys Turkish Airways, Ethiopian Airline. You can check Kayak, you can check booking.com. At this point, I've even exhausted the number of routes that I know in my head. Okay, there are other routes. Some people even told me one time that they got Cuban visa and went through Cuba. There are so many different routes. You just need to find out which one is cheaper for you, which one is more feasible for you, which one is easier for you. Okay, if I were to be in, let's say, Nigeria now, and I want to go to, for instance, St. Lucia, which is a Caribbean country, I would take Turkish Airways through Istanbul to Panama. From Panama, I'll find my way to Barbados. From Barbados to St. Lucia is one flight now. So once you get to Panama, half of the journey is done. From Panama, you can find yourself in Barbados, which is visa free for Nigerians. I don't see any reason why you should enter Barbados and you won't get to your final destination. Bear in mind that you already have visa for your final destination. So when you are traveling, you are showing them, this is my final destination. This is my visa. The worst that will happen is they will call your final destination. Let's say you're going to study in St. Lucia. They will call your school and be like, do you know this person? It could be anywhere. It could even be in Lagos Airport. It could be in Istanbul. It could be in Brazil. Anywhere they will call because they did it to me. They kept calling St. Vincent, which was my last destination as at the time when I traveled from Nigeria to the Caribbean. They kept calling the school to ask them, do you know this person? Do you know this person? They won't stop you from passing by. Once you have your visa to your final destination, what you're going there to do is clear. Because that's another thing I've noticed. Some people will come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for route to travel. I want to go to so and so country. I'm like, what are you going there for? What exactly is taking you there? And sometimes if you cannot even tell me that it's just a YouTuber, that you've emailed me, I'm not even talking to you face to face. You cannot, tell me what you're going to do. You're just saying, oh, you want to go and see the. So what type of visa are you going there with? Immigration officers will disturb you now. So someone even told me that they sent him back. I'm like, what will send you back? You don't have a visa to your final destination and you started the journey. Which kind of magic are you planning to do? You got to Ethiopia and they sent you back and you're surprised. You don't have a visa to your final destination. If you tell them you're going to Barbados because Barbados is visa free, you need to prove to them that you're actually going to Barbados to go and come back, or you're going there for something. You need to show them what you're going there for. So if you try to be sneakish, or I don't know what is the word to use right now. If you try to do Niger corner way for them, they won't let you pass. That is where people get into problems. But if I think the most recent email I got is someone telling me that they are resuming in September in Guyana and they're looking for a route to travel. That kind of person, you have your student's visa. Of course, I want to believe you have your tuition that you've paid. I don't think anybody should disturb you in any of these routes. Book your flights early enough and travel. If you don't have time, because this is July, September, maybe you don't have time to go for UK visa and all of that stress. Book it through Turkish Airways, book it through Ethiopian Airways, check Kayak, look for cheaper flights, look for the cheapest days and fly. So for me, this is like I've exhausted all the routes that I know. So for everyone who keeps asking me this question, you can travel from Nigeria to the Caribbean even if you don't have transit visas. You can. You just need to start early, okay? And I would personally advise you to get a transit visa. Personally, as it is right now, if I had any business again in the Caribbean, I would not go and fly 4 days, 5 days, because going back home is easier than leaving Nigeria. So when I was going home, I passed through Turkish Airways. It was very easy for me, easy peasy. It's just, the whole layover, the long journey, but nobody stops me anywhere, say, where are you going to? Because you're going home. I don't know if that makes any sense. You're going back home. You're going to your country. You won't stop. You'll even be happy that you should go. But if you're leaving Nigeria, it can get a little bit tricky. It can get a little bit difficult because they're gonna want to know, what are you going there to do? Who gave you this visa? How did you get this visa? So you need to be able to answer all of these questions at every point in time where you are transiting. And then do not make the mistake of thinking you can go inside the country that you're supposed to transit through when you don't have a visa to that country. Yes, it is visa free for you to transit, not for you to go inside. I've also gotten these questions a lot. Someone was like, oh, can I go and book a hotel in Panama? My transit is like 14. No. If you've seen a video on this channel, you see that they didn't even let us buy food safe in the airport. Not talk of going inside, not talk of booking hotel. If you're passing through, just pass through in peace so that they don't deport you. It's when you go to try and start doing all these unnecessary things, that is when you stand the chances of being deported back. Okay, so I guess I've been able to answer you guys' questions. I'm not just here blabbing or talking. I have checked these flights and they are available. Okay, book your flights today. Anyways, you guys, I'll talk to you guys later. If you guys have any other questions for me regarding still transiting, you can feel free to ask, but I can promise you that I've told you guys everything I know regarding how to transit from Nigeria to the Caribbean in this 2023. You're welcome. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment under this video. If this video has been helpful to you, feel free to drop a comment. If you encounter any form of challenges, while booking your tickets, while flying, or whatever issue it may be, feel free to still send me an email. I'm going to still put my email address in front of this video. So thank you very much, guys. See y'all some other time. Bye.